talk about Jacob Eason today because I have a firm belief that Jacob Eason is not getting talked about enough as potentially being the future franchise quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts, okay? Now, when I was evaluating Jacob Eason during the pre-draft process, I had him as the 5th-ranked quarterback in the 2019 class. I had, not 2019 class, the 2020 class, pardon me. I had Joe Burrow number 1. I had Tua number 2. I had Jordan Love number 3. Even though I did say in several episodes that I would draft Jordan Love over Tua just because I think that Jordan Love has more potential. Tua's ready to start right away, in my opinion. Jordan Love, if he sits on the bench for about a year or two and you develop him properly, I believe that he can become better than Tua. And maybe potentially better than Joe Burrow one day, okay? So that's how I feel about him. Number 4, I had Justin Herbert. And number 3, I had Jacob Eason. Number 4, I had Justin Herbert. Number 5, I had Jacob Eason. Pardon me. Excuse me. I can't talk today, okay? But yeah, I mean, Jacob Eason, he was a very underrated prospect, in my opinion, you know? Jacob Eason went in the 4th round of the 2020 NFL Draft. He was the 122nd overall pick. And while Jacob Eason did fall in the draft, I felt that Jacob Eason was definitely worth a 2nd-round pick. And if you were very confident in Jacob Eason's ability and you were confident in your coaching staff to develop him, I would not have been particularly mad at you if you took him late in the 1st round, okay? And listen, I'm not too worried about the fact that Jacob Eason dropped in the draft. We've seen guys like Russell Wilson, Tom Brady, Joe Montana, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, Hall of Fame level quarterbacks drop in the draft and not be 1st-round picks and turn out pretty good. So I'm not too concerned about Jacob Eason falling in the draft. That doesn't concern me one bit. Now, if you don't know about Jacob Eason, a couple years ago got his job taken at Georgia by Jake Fromm after Jacob Eason got hurt. Jacob Eason then chooses to transfer to Washington, where in his 1 year as a starter there, he completed 64% of his throws. He threw 23 touchdown passes to only 8 interceptions, and he went 8-5 as a starter. And let's not forget, he didn't play with a whole lot of NFL guys at Washington on his offense, okay? So that's pretty good considering the fact that he was out of football for a long time and he wasn't playing with a whole lot of talent around him. Now, Jacob Eason has a cannon for an arm. He has a very, very strong arm. He had the strongest arm in the 2020 NFL Draft, in my opinion. And while Jacob Eason does need to learn how to throw better with touch, timing, and anticipation, Jacob Eason's more of a see-it, throw-it quarterback. He needs to be able to throw wide receivers open a lot better if he wants to succeed at the NFL level. But man, Jacob Eason, I think that he has all the talent in the world. And if Jacob Eason can just learn to throw the ball with a little bit more touch and layer the ball in over linebackers' heads and in between defenders, he can become a very good NFL starting quarterback, in my opinion, because he has all the physical traits you need. Now, his mobility is okay. He's mobile enough. He's not the greatest athlete. But let me tell you why I believe Jacob Eason is in a great situation with the Indianapolis Colts. He's a great fit for the Colts. First of all, they have a very good run game. Marlon Mack and Jonathan Taylor, I believe they're going to have amazing seasons this year. Jonathan Taylor, to me, was the best running back in the 2020 draft class, and Marlon Mack is coming off a 1,000-yard season rushing, okay? So Marlon Mack and Jonathan Taylor are very good, so he will have a real run game. Also, the offensive line is the best offensive line in the entire NFL. It's a very young offensive line. Quentin Nelson's a beast. The offensive line is very good, and that's very key for Jacob Eason because he's not Lamar Jackson. He's not Deshaun Watson. He's not even the athlete that Aaron Rodgers is at the moment. He needs time to scan the field and throw in that pocket. He's not the most mobile guy. So having that great offensive line is going to help Jacob Eason. Also, that defense is pretty good in Indianapolis, okay? Led by Darius Leonard. Led by DeForest Buckner. They got a very underrated defense. So Jacob Eason is not going to be asked to score a bunch of points. Also, at wide receiver, they got some underrated targets. Michael Pittman Jr. out of USC, T.Y. Hilton, along with Paris Campbell, and some underrated tight ends. Indianapolis has some decent weapons. And Jacob Eason is going to be learning from Frank Wright, a very good offensive mind at head coach. He's one of the better head coaches in the entire NFL. He knows offense very well. He's worked with a lot of great quarterbacks. And Jacob Eason gets an opportunity to learn from Phillip Rivers, a guy that's played in the NFL for 16 seasons, okay? He's got 16 years of NFL experience. Jacob Eason can learn a lot from Philip Rivers. And a lot of the things that Jacob Eason struggles with, Philip Rivers does very well. Philip Rivers has very good pocket awareness. Philip Rivers can throw the ball with touch and timing and anticipation. That is something that he can get better at learning under Philip Rivers. So it's a perfect situation for Jacob Eason. He is not going to be asked to start right away. He is going to be able to sit on the bench and learn and soak in everything that he needs to be a successful NFL quarterback. So I'm just saying, man, do not sleep on Jacob Eason as potentially being the next great Indianapolis Colts franchise quarterback. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juiciest Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big-time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juiciest Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God bless day, and I'm out.